All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where rumors abound about Errol Spence Jr.'s training camp for the Terrence Crawford rematch and whether it will include longtime top level trainer Derrick James in his camp, and if not, who will be in it. Rumors that he has already hired another trainer, and who it is. The trainer that was mentioned has spoke out about it, so we'll talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division where we have rumors about Errol Spence Jr. and whether Errol Spence Jr. will be parting ways with world-class trainer Derrick James, who's been a trainer of his since the amateurs, trained him in his last fight, obviously with Terrence Crawford, which resulted in a loss, and whether he will be hiring one or two people that have been mentioned, or has hired one or two people that have been mentioned, and that is Gervonta Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, or Hall of Fame fighter, trainer, and he's a trainer now, Roy Jones Jr. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a tremendous amount to the channel. So thank you guys, especially to everybody that supports the channel in the super thanks, which is a little $ in the bottom of the screen, which will allow you to sponsor videos like this for content creators that you want to allow to continue to do the work. Let me sip my coffee for a second and we'll get into this. Morning Black Coffee. By the way, this comes from a channel that I really do support, making a difference every day. Making a difference every day. You can go check out them on Instagram. Shout out to my guys, Key to the Game Boxing. Now, let's get into this because how can I say this? I have to say the first portion to address is whether or not it is real that Errol Spence Jr. has fired Derrick James. My understanding is that that is not true. However, to put what I do believe and do have caught wind of is that it is not out of possibility that that could happen. And that's the only thing that I know for certain is that could possibly take place. And now, why could it possibly take place? Because Errol Spence Jr. has lost his last fight with Terrence Crawford, and that there are other fighters that have improved themselves by bringing in new eyes into the gym, and that I'm sure Errol Spence Jr. is going to consider everything he needs to do to get himself, if he continues to box, into the best possible chance to get to the height of boxing that he wants to get to. And that is not unreasonable to expect for him to look at everything, whether it is where he trains, who he trains with, who his strength and conditioning coach is. All of those type of things are going to be whenever you're in a scenario and you experience something like Errol Spence Jr. did. I think you would be irresponsible to yourself if you did not look and see what you need around you. Right now, that said, I don't have any inside sources on whether or not he's fired Derrick James or not. So don't go associating this with something coming out of Dallas. I'm just telling you, I know enough to say this, that it is a possibility. However, but it did not happen, but it is a possibility that it could happen. However, the answer to the question of whether or not he has hired a new trainer in Calvin Ford. Calvin Ford was on a video being asked about that, and he said this is the first he heard of it. So obviously that is not going to be the case. Then you have Roy Jones Jr. I find the possibility that it being Roy Jones Jr. very, very, very difficult to conceive of. And the reason is that, first of all, Errol Spence Jr. doesn't really care for Roy Jones Jr. Those two have not seen eye to eye since Roy Jones Jr. started picking against him. Whether that's right of Errol or wrong of Errol, right of Roy Jones Jr. or wrong of Roy Jones Jr., this does not really matter. I just don't think that those guys really have much of a relationship, even though I have to say that the relationship, the way that Roy Jones Jr. approached the talk about the fight between Errol and Terrence afterwards, I think that probably is something, if I was Errol Spence, I would listen to. Because one of the things that Roy Jones Jr. said is, if you would have talked to me earlier, I could tell you some of the things that you need to do in order to deal with Terrence Crawford. Now, is that something that Roy Jones Jr. would be able to do? Probably. Roy Jones Jr. is one of the best fighters definitely one of the best fighters of this century and best fighters since the 1990s. The man, without a doubt, knows world-class boxing. You know what I mean? You can't beat somebody like James Toney, beat somebody like Bernard Hopkins, do the things that he's done in his career and not know what he's talking about in a boxing ring. And no matter how many people would get on Roy Jones Jr. for his pick against Errol Spence Jr., you really can't speak. You can't say that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, but I still don't think that would take place. Now, as far as my opinion about whether he should do that or not, or make a change or not, again, my opinion is similar to whether he should take the Terrence Crawford fight at all. Errol Spence Jr., one thing that I do know about Errol Spence Jr. is that Errol Spence Jr. is in control of his own camp. He's the decision maker in his camp. He is somebody that is going to make the decisions for his career. It's not going to be Derek James. It's not going to be his mother. It's not going to be his father. It's not going to be Al Heyman. It is going to be, at the end of the day, it is going to be Errol Spence Jr. that makes the decision about what he does. And I know that to be the case because I have had enough conversations with that camp to know how Errol Spence Jr. was raised. His family's not in his business, and they trained him and taught him to always be the one to make the decision about what he wants to do, because that is, basically what a man is that controls his own life, right? Whether you work for somebody else, right, you got to take instructions and all of that. That's very obvious, but he'll be the one to make that decision, similar to the one when he made the decision about exercising a rematch clause. And I do believe that he'll probably make the best decision that he can possibly make, right? And not ignore that money, number one, that's out there. Now, as far as Derek James, I think Derek James is a tremendous trainer. I don't think that any way you go, I don't think they should reflect negatively on Derek James, no matter what Errol Spence Jr. decides or doesn't decide. I don't think it should reflect on him negatively or not. Derek James has taken him to a very, very high level in his career. And if Errol thinks that he needs to have somebody kind of add to that, get another pair of eyes on what's going on and how he should proceed, that I don't think that is, I just think sometimes, man, you with somebody for a very long time, and it's just what it is. Not everybody has careers where they stay together the entire time. Or also could be very much like what happened with Derek James and Jermell Charlo, where Jermell Charlo brings in Juan Guzman, and Juan Guzman winds up being a very valuable addition to Jermell Charlo's team, and Jermell Charlo improves as a result of it. And as you've seen, Derek James was obviously open to working along with Juan Guzman. Who knows, man? You could bring in a Roy Jones Jr. Into a camp with Derek James and have them work together and both look and figure, okay, what's the game plan? What are we going to work on? You know what I mean? And do that as well. And there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that would be more than open to doing that. The only thing that I would say is if that wound up taking place, something like that, then it probably would need to be basically take Terrence Crawford out an extra fight, let Errol Spence Jr. get one fight, and then go to that. Because again, I don't really think Terrence Crawford has a lot of places to go. Honestly, there's a lot of talk about where he has to go, but I don't know how real it is that he actually is going to be able to go there. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.